Hello everyone, in this lovely day, join me explore about scenario planning of Pertamina Geothermal Energy presented by us, Syndicate 4. Before that, let me introduce my beloved team, start from me, Lala Nurfitria, and then we have Syane Dian, my friends Kevin Pradityo, and we don't forget about Aqila, Gabrita, Kamal, and then last but not least, Bangkit for Nugroho. Let's get started. PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy or PGE is one of the largest geothermal energy resources companies in Indonesia. The company is a subsidiary of PT Pertamina Persero with PT Pertamina Dana Ventura. The company does business in geothermal energy utilizations. The PGE carries out professional management of geothermal operations and business portfolios that are environmentally friendly and provide added value for stakeholders. The company was established with the intention of conducting business in the field of geothermal from upstream and downstream side, both inside and outside, and the country as well as other business activities related or supporting such business activities in the geothermal field by applying the principle of the company. In this year's G20 conference, Indonesia raised green energy as one of the three priorities. Geothermal energy is acknowledged as the mainstay energy of Indonesia, as it can be a base load of energy in Indonesia. The government brings up the energy transition from fossil to renewable resources at the bottom. The potential for green energy is followed by a consistent scenario and roadmap, including funding and investment. The providing cost of geothermal is cheaper than other renewable energy. The government aims to accelerate the early retirement of steam power plants or PLTU in Java and Sumatra and switch to green energy such as geothermal and solar panels. Pertamina Geothermal Energy or PGE is in charge of energy management, including renewable energy. Pertamina Geothermal Energy or PGE is expected to transform energy to green energy in Indonesia. Now, after we introduce the object that we will explain in scenario planning, let's have a brief explanation in what is exactly the scenario planning. Scenario planning is a process to simulate imaginative and creative thinking to better prepare an organization for the future. The reason to use this scenario planning is mainly to decide the significant amount of uncertainty. In this video, we will explain you 5 stages in scenario planning of Pertamina Geothermal Energy.
Hi, I'm Kevin. In this part, we will explain scenario planning framework that will be used in assessing PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy case. We use 5-stage scenario planning. Those 5 stages are orientation, exploration, scenario and narrative creation, option consideration, and the last one, integration. In orientation stage, we will explain about the background research or internal perspective and the focal question about the problem. In exploration stage, we will defining the driving forces and acknowledging the focal issue. We will also be using PESTEL and SWOT for analysis before using critical uncertainty analysis. In scenario and narrative creation step, we will create scenario matrix with scenario creation, combine forces into scenario logic and framework, and detail scenario stories and industry level impact. In option consideration stage, we will identify potential scenarios and creating a strategic plan. We will also generate options. In the last stage, integration, we will monitoring early indicators and signposts and ongoing process and dialogue. Step 1. Geothermal utilization scene. Indonesia sets eyes on becoming world's geothermal superpower. The development of geothermal as the new green energy managed by Pertamina Geothermal Energy or PGE. Pertamina aiming to become sustainability-driven energy player. In this regard, Indonesia has the opportunity to enlist international assistance, particularly from rich nations, to assist in preparation of energy transition plans for developing countries through capital assistance and technology transfer. As a result, Indonesia can show the rest of the world fully supporting the global energy transition. In this part, we will explain the direct utilization of geothermal energy using power plant. Look at the bottom left of your screen. You will see production wells. In this stage, geothermal fluid will be pumped from its source to ground level. Due to pressure change, the fluid will turn into steam. The steam will go to the flash up, where high pressure steam and low pressure steam will be separated. High pressure steam will go directly to the high pressure turbine and generator. Meanwhile, low pressure steam will go to low pressure separator. Here, brine will be separated from the steam. The steam will go to low pressure turbine and generator. Electricity generated by both high pressure and low pressure turbine and generator will be transferred to the transformer before being distributed to the customers or users using power transmission line. Generally speaking, there are three ways to discharge the byproduct of this process. The first one, by treating the steam quality into acceptable level and then discharge it using cooling tower. The second one, by reinject the byproduct underground using condensate reinjection wells. The last one, by releasing the condensator using exhauster. So that is the energy generation process using geothermal energy.
Hi, I'm Bangkit. In this part, we will explain about stage 2, exploration. In this stage, we will identify driving force. The driving force are, first, various technology. PGI is two types of technology, scheme of direct utilization of geothermal energy and scheme of indirect utilization of geothermal energy. Second, government regulation. The transformation of energy influenced by government regulation has affected the country and its natural resource and environment. Third, preservation of environment. Geothermal energy extracted from the earth indicate the development must consider the preservation of the environment, therefore minimizing in a future environmental issue. The next driving force is sustainability. Environmental sustainability is responsible interacting with the planet to maintain natural resources and not jeopardize the ability for future generations to meet their needs. Then, green movement. As the main concern that act as background of the energy transformation, the green movement is therefore involved in any action aligned with the project and must take into account with the responsibility of green movement. Then, economic growth. Renewable energy can also be part of strategy to help communities currently dependent on fossil fuel production diversify their economies. Cost-effective energy efficiency improvement can have positive macroeconomic impact, boosting economic activity and often leading to increased employment. The next driving force is high maintenance. Geothermal plants have been linked to subsidence or the slow sinking of land. This happens as the underground fracture collapse upon themselves. This can lead to damaged pipelines, roadways, buildings, and natural drainage system. Then, exchange rates. Exchange rates affect the project management and the project development. A higher valued currency makes a country import less expensive and its export more expensive in foreign market. A lower value currency makes a country import more expensive and its export less expensive in foreign market. Then, budgeting and cost. Geothermal is more expensive and less efficient than using coal. And then there is another driving force, lifestyle attitude, and then cultural issue, like people in downtown area are more likely to be aware of renewable energy and innovation. And then level of innovation, this energy transformation is something new, therefore innovation is needed in order to produce. Second, government regulation associated in it, and then technological change. Innovation in technology will always develop for the sake of human convenience, and then technological awareness, and then environmental policy and climate change. One of the biggest reasons for the energy transformation is climate change. Therefore, climate change affects the development of the transformation. And then customer protection law, and then health and safety law.
Hello, my name is Aqila Gabrita. I am a member of Syndicate 4, and I'll be presenting the use of pestle analysis and why we as a group have decided to use pestle analysis. Pestle analysis is one of the most comprehensive methodologies for understanding a company environment. It can be described as a bird's eye view in which an organization, or in this case, the company that we choose, which is PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy, attempts to determine the market's exact patterns from a macroeconomic standpoint. We also use pestle analysis as a way of seeing whether this project will be running smoothly or not. PESTLE itself stands for political, economy, social, technology, legal, and environment. Because our key focal focus is on environment and social, we see that for the environmental factor, there are 4 issues. Number 1, preservation of environment. Number 2, green movement. Number 3, climate change. And lastly, environment sustainability. We also think that social will be a factor that PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy must take into account because once the project start running, there will be 2 factors that is an issue. Number 1, lifestyle attitudes. Number 2, cultural issues. We as a group have also decided to use SWOT analysis because we believe that both PESTLE and SWOT are decision-making tools, with PESTLE assisting investors in making investment decisions and SWOT helping the policymakers in further development. We use the key areas from PESTLE to classify them into SWOT analysis areas because we want to identify which factors of the PESTLE analysis will bring the most threats once the project runs. For example, our key focal issues are environment. So we put environment as threats when the geothermal energies project starts running. Critical uncertainty analysis, we believe, is also as important because critical uncertainty analysis is actually used to discuss and evaluate relevant trends and critical uncertainties. Our group have identified 2 uncertainties that is a major threats once this project starts running. So the first one is cultural issue and the second one is climate change. The impact of using critical uncertainty analysis, it makes it easier for us as a group to identify which factors will be affecting this project. And secondly, it is a matrix with 2 dimensions. So uncertainty on the x-axis and the potential impact for future performance on the y-axis. The goal of using critical uncertainty analysis is to cluster the relevant factors that we as a group have identified during the perception analysis into secondary elements, trends, and especially critical uncertainties. Critical uncertainties itself have a high impact on a firm's future success and are highly uncertain. Therefore, we as a group recommend PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy to use the critical uncertainty analysis to evaluate whether this project will be successful or not. For the next slide, I'll be passing it on to my teammate.
Hello everyone, my name is Syane and today I would like to explain about the 3rd stage of scenario planning. So in this case, the key focal issue is how geothermal energy project affects environmental and social issue in Indonesia, especially PT Pertamina Geothermal Energy. And in this case, we use climate change as our y-axis and cultural issue as our x-axis. There are 4 conditions that I'm going to address today. The first condition is the favorable condition. So this favorable condition happens when there is a fast climate change and low cultural issue. This usually happens when there is a high demand for the development of green energy project to address the rising speed of climate change. And there is a high support from local communities because there is no cultural issue regarding the construction and operational of geothermal power plant. The second one is social work. So this social work condition happens when there is a low cultural issue and slow climate change. In this situation, there is low demand for the development of green energy project to address the climate change, and there is high support from local communities because there is no cultural issue regarding the constructions and operational of geothermal power plant. And the next condition or situation is no excitement. So no excitement happens when there is high cultural issue, and slow climate change. In this situation, there is low demand for the development of green energy project to address the climate change, and there's low support from local communities because there is a cultural issue regarding the construction and operational of geothermal power plant. And the last one is chaos. So in this chaos situation, it happens usually because there is a high cultural issue and fast climate change. In this chaos situation, there is a high demand for the development of green energy project to address the rising speed of climate change. However, there is a low support from local communities because there is a cultural issue regarding the construction and operational of geothermal power plant. In this case, the chaos one is the one that we want to avoid, and we want to be very aware and very be prepared of. Alright, now we're on the fourth stage of scenario planning. This stage, I will be explaining about the implications and options that can be done on each of the conditions. The first condition is favorable condition. In the favorable conditions, there are two different implications. The first implication is faster than forecasted climate change. The second one is higher need for green energy alternatives. With these two implications, there are two different options. First one is faster project executions, and the second one is fitting with available technology. We believe that by using the available technology, it will actually make the project executions faster. The second condition is social works. In the second condition, there are two different implications. The first one is low productivity, and the second one is low business development. With these two implications, there are three options. The first one is clear company vision and mission, and the second one, hire highly productive management team, and the last one is hire creative employees. We believe that by doing those options, we will be able to overcome the implications. The third condition is no excitement condition. In this condition, there is one implication, which is rejections from local citizens. In this situation, there are two options that can be done. The first one is conducting negotiations, and the second one is giving awareness about the advantages of geothermal powered electricity. And the last condition is chaos. In this condition, there are three different implications. The first one is rejections from local citizens. Second, faster than forecasted climate change. And the last one, conflict between local citizens and the government. With these three implications, there are three different options. The first option is given awareness about the advantages and benefits of the geothermal powered electricity. The second one is conducting CSR, and the last one, conducting negotiations. We believe that by doing all of those options, we will be able to overcome the implications in any of the given conditions. Finally, we're on the last stage, the fifth stage. Integration, early warning sign. So in this stage, there are several early warning signs that was found out for each of the conditions. The first condition is favorable condition. In a favorable condition, the early warning signs are a rising climate change is affecting Indonesia and Asian countries. Negotiation can be done with the citizens without any following conflicts. Project can sustain and generate profits. And the last one, citizens are involved actively in the project, especially in the awareness and use of geothermal powered electricity. The second condition is social work condition. In the social work condition, the early warning signs are business development is stagnant due to slower than expected climate change, low innovation due to uncreative working force. And the next condition is no excitement condition. In the no excitement condition, the early warning signs are citizens do not support the development of the project due to the lack of knowledge and awareness of the geothermal powered electricity. Arising conflicts between the company and the citizens that become constraints of the development. And the last one is unresolved disagreement between company and citizens. And the last condition is chaos. Chaos condition, the early warning signs are a boycott from local citizens due to lack of awareness and knowledge about the geothermal powered electricity, a decrease in geothermal supply, high government intervention, and the last one, a significant rise of climate change that needs a responsive action. So those are the early warning signs. that were found out through the scenario planning research. We see that this early warning sign can help us to address in what condition are we facing. And through the early warning signs, we can then assess what are the actions that should be done and what are the actions that should be avoided. So that would be all from today. Thank you very much and hope to see you guys again at the next chance. Bye bye.